Welcome, you are in the lab room. I'm your host, Lou. Thank you for joining me. Week number 9 in the National Football League, Sunday night football. And I could not wait. I talked about this in the preview for this game. Indianapolis Colts at Houston Texans. I was anxious to see what Case Keenum would bring to the table. I told you I was impressed with him thoroughly against the Kansas City Chiefs. Hostile environment. Undefeated Chiefs team, elite defense in the Kansas City Chiefs. Case Keenum went out and performed and played well enough for his team to win. They weren't able to get the victory, however, but he showed well in that game, and I said I couldn't wait to see him get another opportunity to play. And now he's on a huge stage, Sunday Night Football, all eyes on him at home for the first time in his career in the National Football League in front of a lot of family and friends. He's from Texas. He played at the U of H at the University of Houston. And so I was anxious to see how this young man would handle all of the surrounding circumstances coming into this game. You know, a lot of people still think Matt Schaub can get it done in Houston. Many of you do not, including myself. I think that it's time to move on and see what the future holds for this Texans franchise. And if, in fact, he can be the next guy in line to be the quarterback of the future in Houston. And so I wanted to see what he could bring to the table. From the Indianapolis Colts perspective, look, this is a downtrodden Houston Texans team searching for answers at the quarterback position. They're down. You need to kick them and kick them hard while they're down. Do not let them off the canvas. This is a Texans team that, if you allow to beat you in this game, will still be hanging on to dear life. They'll still be clinging to a ray of hope. And if you want to put them out of their misery and not have to worry about this Texans team down the road, put them away right here, right now, Sunday Night Football, and let the world know. Let the National Football League be put on notice that the Indianapolis Colts aren't to be messed with. Now, I was looking for the Colts in this game to see what they would do and how they would circumvent that Reggie Wayne injury, because to me, that is an injury. Of all of the injuries that happened in week 8, and there were a slew of them, week number 7, of all the injuries that happened in week 7, that was the one that I thought had the most far-reaching consequences as this season unfolded, because this Colts offense relies so heavily on Reginald Wayne, and so him going out for the remainder of the season, I wanted to see how the Colts offense would look in his absence. So let's break this game down, talk about what unfolded and how this game was seen from the eyes of me, Louie T. So 5-2 Indianapolis Colts traveling to 2-5 Houston Texans to handle a little bit of AFC South family business. If it happens in a family, it stays in the family. So Case Keenum to the one and only DRE on the third play of the game for 62 yards and a touchdown. It's 7-0 Houston, and this is exactly what I was looking for from Case Keenum. The athleticism, we saw it on the very first play. He rolls out this pressure by Eric Walden. He eludes the rush, buys time, finds a open receiver in DeVere Posey, hits him by the sideline with a dart. You saw everything on that play. You saw arm strength, athleticism, accuracy on the move. I mean, he showed you everything essentially in the package on the first possession. Follows that up with a strike, a 62-yard strike to the one and only DRE. He hasn't had a touchdown reception since December of last season. Enter in Case Keenum, and DRE went off in this game. And he showed you why he's an elite receiver in this league. And sometimes you forget about guys because of the quarterback position. And DRE showed up in a huge way in this game. Andre Johnson was monstrous in this game. And it took Case Keenum to enter the lineup to bring the best out of him. And he didn't even have a 20-yard completion on the season until Case Keenum stepped in against Kansas City and played. So guys like Andre Johnson are benefiting from Case Keenum being in this lineup. So right off the bat, fireworks in Houston as Case Keenum lights it up on the first possession. Big pass play to Fleener sets up 42-yard field goal that is blocked and returned deep into Colts territory. However, Golden Tate, Ben Tate curiously slides on second down, and I thought Chris Collinsworth made mention of it, and I thought he did a great job pointing it out because I saw the same thing, and I didn't think anybody else noticed it. I know he's playing with some broken ribs and what may have you, and I don't know if he's 100% healthy. Okay, I can answer that. He's not 100% healthy. And there are about 3 Colts around. He still could have got the first down. You put your shoulder down, you lean forward, he gets the first down, no questions asked. It's not even close. Instead, he sees defenders. He doesn't want to take a big shot. I get it, I guess, but at the same time, if you're scared to pick up a first down when all you have to do is lean forward and put your shoulder down and get it, you don't need to play. And him sliding, which resulted in 3rd and 1, they didn't get that. They went for it on 4th and 1. They didn't get that. The Colts D rises to the occasion and gets the stop. Lets me know that mentally you're thinking about your ribs being injured. You don't need to be on the field. If there's any doubt, then you don't need to play. So that was a very curious decision on the part of Ben Tate to slide when he could have easily picked up the first down. It results in a turnover on downs. The Texans don't get anything off of the blocked field goal and return. Texans get away with roughing the kicker, and Case Keenum strikes again. And this should have been roughing the kicker. I don't know how the officials missed it. It's Gary Kubiak's job, or excuse me, it's Chuck Pagano's job to challenge that. No way you let them get away with that. That was blatant roughing the kicker. And way to get it off if you're Pat McAfee. I love Pat McAfee. He tackles. He's getting franchise tagged. He's kicking the ball. He bobbles the ball on the first punt of the game. And matter of fact, it was on this same possession. Bobbles the ball, has to escape a rusher, and finds the space to get it off and kicks it beautifully. There's a penalty, of course, when you do that. Guys are down the field illegally. And so he had to do it again. This time, there's a free rusher. He comes in, tries to block the kick. Brooks Reed absolutely looks like he's going to snap Pat McAfee's leg off. They don't call it. He never touches the football. Got to find a way to talk to somebody that says, hey, he never touched the ball. We can challenge that. Something has to be done, but you can't let them get away with that if you're Chuck Pagano. Either way, they missed the roughing the kicker call, and Case Keenum strikes again, and once again to the one and only DRE. This time, 41 yards. It's 14-0. This is starting to look very, very dangerous if you are the Indianapolis Colts. You're on the road, dangerous Texans team, Sunday Night Football, crowd is into it. Case Keenum has injected life into this team that looked like they were buried and gone. Now you're giving them confidence by allowing them to jump on top of you early. This could spell trouble for you if you are the Indianapolis Colts. Case Keenum takes a costly sack with Texans well in field goal range. This sack makes it tough on Randy Bullock, the rookie kicker out of Texas A&M. And I'll talk about him a little bit later because I have a bone to pick with Randy Bullock. From 49 yards, it's no good. You got to make a 49-yard kick. I'll get to Randy Bullock here in a second, but I digress. DHB, pass interference leads to a field goal in the first points of the game for the Colts. It's 14-3, Texans up in this ball game. Huge drive by the Texans right before the half as Keenum continues his connection with the one and only DRE. And he hits him with a beautiful fade in the back of the end zone. Just lost it up, allows Dre to run under it and snag it away from the Colts defender, Vontae Davis. And he had a rough, and when I say rough, I mean a rough first half. They kept putting that pan shot of him after Dre was abusing him, and all he could do was sit there and look like he was lost. I felt bad for Vontae because these were some great throws. There's really not much you can do about them, and he was abused in that first half. And so now it's 21-3, and you can't draw it up. You can't have a better first half than the Texans had in this game from a passing standpoint. Dre well over 100 yards in the first half, 3 touchdowns. Case Keenum is absolutely lighting it up. If you're the Texans, this is how you script the first half to go. And everything changed as they were going into the half. Gary Kubiak collapses at the 24-yard line, and he goes down to a knee. He's having trouble breathing. They tell him to lay down. He's taken off the field on a stretcher. Really, they ran tests at one of the local hospitals. Don't know what's wrong with him. At that point, as a Texans player, this game takes a back seat to your coach and not knowing his status. I think that, and look, I'm pulling that card. If you're a Colts fan, you probably don't want to hear it. Oh, they're going to try to pull the Gary Kubiak card. Yeah, you're damn right I'm pulling the Kubiak card. Because if Kubiak's on the sidelines in the second half calling plays, I don't think you come back and win this football game. You were struggling, and I'll get to the Colts offense here in a second, but you were struggling in the first half to put anything together. Offensively, the Texans were dominating. And keep in mind, there was no Arian Foster after the first play. He runs the ball in the first play of the game, or second play, excuse me. He runs the football, gets tackled, injures his back. He's done. He doesn't come back. And so they still dominated you in the first half offensively. It was a nice balance of run and pass. They had you off balance. There was no pressure on Case Keenum because you had to look for run and pass. And DRE was absolutely shredding you. If there's Gary Kubiak, who doubles as the play caller for this team as well as their head coach, if there's Kubiak in the second half, you're done in his football game. Instead, he goes down. The team mentally, I think that played with their psyche. It should have. I can't see how it doesn't. Wade Phillips is your interim head coach. Never trust Wade Phillips to do anything but call defenses. So I just feel like the game changed with something that happened off the field instead of on it. And Gary Kubiak, we're all thinking about you, praying for you, hoping that you're okay as he goes down. We don't know what the extent of his situation is. Don't know if he had a minor heart attack or if he had a stroke. I'm hearing that they're checking him for possible symptoms of a stroke, but whatever the case may be, let's just hope that he's okay. But Colts come out, get a field goal on the first possession of the second half, cut the Texans lead to 15 at 21-6. Texans answer immediately with a field goal, make it 24-6 to extend that lead back out to 18. Colts finally get in the end zone after a roughing call. T.Y. Hilton on a corner route cuts the Texans lead to 24-12, and it's 24-12 because Chuck Pagano, who made another bad decision in this game, elects to go for two too early in the football game. They fail on the two-point conversion. Luck misses a wide-open Kobe Fleener on this play. And instead of it being 24-13, still a two-score game, it's now 24-12, and it's definitely a two-possession game, and you got to score two touchdowns. The option to kick a field goal is no longer in the equation after the failed two-point conversion. Let's talk about Randy Bullock. I said I was going to come back to him. He continues to struggle as he misses from 43 yards. This guy was all-world at Texas A&M. He was one of those Lou Groza Award type of kickers, and he was money at Texas A&M. I don't know what has happened to him since he's entered the National Football League. He looks like he could stand to miss a couple of meals. He's a big kicker. He could miss a couple of meals, but that has nothing to do with his leg. He needs to get it in gear. If you're the Texans, you got to start hitting the street looking for kickers, because the one thing you can't do in the National Football League is afford to not have points on the board from the kicking game. And he's missing far too many kicks. And it's not even a matter of, a 55-yarder, a hope and a prayer type of kick. He's missing kicks that you expect an NFL quality kicker to make. And he's missing on a consistent basis. I'd venture to say that his field goal percentage is one of the worst in the league of any kicker with a minimum of 17 kicks in the National Football League. He's just not kicking the football well, and I have an issue with that. When you're a team that's 2-5, you're struggling, you need all the points you can get, you can't afford to have your field goal kicker missing kicks. And I think he beat out a guy like Neil Rackers in the preseason. I don't know who the other kicker was. This guy right now is struggling. And if he doesn't get his act together, you got to hit the streets and find a veteran kicker that can come in, or even a young guy that didn't get drafted, that's out there kicking somewhere. Find him, bring him in, work him out, see if he can get it done, and get this guy out of here because Randy Bullock is costing you games. He's costing you momentum in games that is costing you games, and you can't afford to do that. He missed 2 field goals in this game. You end up losing the game by 3. You want to tackle on that last one he missed as the game expired. I won't hold that one against him. That was a long attempt, but he misses from 49. He misses from 43. I have an issue with that. And you lose the game by 3. That's 6 points right there. You got to either find a better kicker or he's got to get it in gear. So Colts don't hesitate to strike off of the Texans' mistake as Luck hits T.Y. Hilton on a 58-yard touchdown bomb. Is now 24-19. And let's talk about this Colts offense. I said I was going to talk about this offense. Without Reggie Wayne, this offense looks lost. And they did a great job of illustrating what Reggie Wayne means to this offense and his job in the slot. And it was apparent, especially in the first half, that they simply didn't have guys picking up the blitzes. They weren't cutting off their routes. They weren't adjusting their routes with hot routes. They weren't in sync with Luck. And the Texans knew it. And they started coming after Andrew Luck. He was being harassed in the first half. And I think that Collinsworth hit it right on the nose. And I was saying the same thing to myself as I was watching the game. The guy that's going to have to step up is T.Y. Hilton. He's going to have to assume the role of playmaker for this offense. He's going to have to be playmaker on third down. He's going to have to be the playmaker to get it in the end zone. He's going to have to do everything for this Colts offense from a wide receiver standpoint. Griff Whalen isn't going to get it done. You're probably going to have to hit the streets and find something, unless you have something worth salvaging and bringing up from your practice squad. You're probably going to have to hit the streets because Griff Whalen not going to get it done. Darius Hayward-Bay, bless his heart, he is garbage. And I tried to get him out of the league after he left Oakland. And you can talk about hitting the jugs machine all you like. He can't catch the football. You just can't catch. He couldn't catch a cold in a daycare full of 3- and 4-year-olds in the middle of January. He just can't catch. It's simple as that. Bless his heart. He tries hard. He means well. He just can't catch. And so he's not going to help you offensively. Kobe Fleener, to me, little inconsistent. You're going to have to find another option at wide receiver. You're probably going to have to hit the streets for it. And maybe Brazil can help you from a receiver standpoint. I just don't know if you have enough at receiver to go on down the line in the season. You're going to need some help at some point. But T.Y. Hilton is going to have to step up. He stepped up in this game in a major way and was your saving grace in this game as Andrew Luck started to rely on him heavily as this game unfolded later on. Colts get a stop, a huge stop late in the game, and drive down the field, and Luck finds T.Y. Hilton for a 9-yard touchdown, then tacks on a 2-point conversion to Kobe Fleener. It is now 27-24. So the Colts take the lead for the first time in this football game at the most crucial time of this football game, right at the end. Texans get the football back one final time, actually twice. They scored this touchdown with about 4 minutes left. They stop them. They get the football back. Colts drain a little bit of the clock, give it back to the Texans late in this football game with no timeouts remaining. Texans get down the field. Last-ditch effort. Case Keenum does his job. He puts them in a position to try and tie this game up with the field goal. As we all know, Randy Bullock, absolutely horrible on this night, as he has been all season long. Misses the field goal. Colts escape this game with a 27-24 victory. Again, not a beauty pageant. It's not a beauty contest. I've said this about 4 times this week with teams winning ugly games. Seattle won an ugly one. Dallas won an ugly one. Doesn't matter how it looks. This isn't college football. This isn't the BCS. You don't get extra points for style. Just win the football game. As my man Al Davis once eloquently put it, just win, baby. And that's what the Indianapolis Colts did. Despite the struggles of the first half, despite not having Reggie Wayne and this team looking like a team that was desperate for help, they got some help in the form of Gary Kubiak going down, and then they handled the rest. They got it done. Don't take anything away from this Colts team. They still have to go out and perform, but Make no mistake about it. If Gary Kubiak doesn't collapse at halftime, I think this is a different outcome. But it doesn't matter. They got it done in the crucial stages of the football game. Luck shows you why he is the man. This isn't luck. This is pure skill. And he got it done with another fourth quarter game-winning drive as the Indianapolis Colts go to 6-2 on the season with a 27-24 victory. They've got some work to do. They got to find some help at receiver because they don't have enough right now. It's not enough, and they won't last if they continue like this for the remainder of the season. But they get it done here. Texans fall to 2-6, but I think, I'm not sure yet. I need to see more. But I think you might have found your quarterback of the future. In one case, Keenum. It's still early. Jury's still out. Need to see more. But that young man looked awfully impressive in this football game. That's going to do it for this installment of In the Lab Room. I thank you for joining me. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here in the Lab Room. Come back and continue to join me as I finish breaking down week number 9. Have a couple more games to attack. I'll see you then. Come back and join me as I wrap up week number 9 in the National Football League.